Hello everyone, this is Armand Walayas from EAC 594 with Professor Gary Smolyansky. Today I'm going to talk about augmented and virtual reality in marketing among automotive companies. I hope you enjoy it. You probably figure out that my presentation is mostly about cars and technology with a focus on VR and AR technology from the topic. If you are a car enthusiast or enjoy learning about new technologies, just like me, then this presentation is yours. If you don't, I hope I can get you interested in the topic. Before we start, I wanted to give you an explanation about the topic. Using marketing and automotive in the topic can be a bit confusing since they are both industries, but here is the explanation. Automotive companies have marketing departments and strategies too. We will talk about automotive companies with a little focus on marketing. By now, you have definitely heard a lot about VR and AR, unless you are living in a different world from me. These two technologies are pretty similar with some differences, and that's the reason we put them together in many places. Based on the Oxford Dictionary, virtual reality is the computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way by a person using special electronic equipment. AR is similar in many ways, but I would define it as an add-on to our real world. In this slide, we have a quote from Mark Zuckerberg about the incredibility of this emerging technology. You probably heard about VR mostly from the gaming industry. It is understandable because it has made a huge effect in gaming. But what are the other industries that have been using augmented and virtual reality to shape our future? Whatever you just thought is probably true, since there are more than 23 industries using this emerging technology. Industries such as automotive, which we will be focusing on, healthcare, retail, and so on. There are so many industries that I could not fit them all in this slide. Let's try again with another question, but this time we are focusing on the automotive industry. How do automotive companies are using these technologies? How is it helpful for them? They are using it in more ways than you can imagine. Designing and prototyping to start with. Companies can design and prototype new products using augmented reality in a much easier, faster, cheaper, and more efficient way. You have probably heard of virtual showrooms where you can see every company car using a pair of virtual reality devices. This use for VR has topped in the COVID era to help people choose new cars in the safest, yet as exciting way. In the picture on the left, we can see the HUD of a newly manufactured car. HUD stands for heads-up display. We've seen this previously in video games, and seeing them in real life is really great for me personally. Here in this picture, we can see how augmented reality can help automotive companies with their training. Only if this were available back in the day when I used to work in this trade. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have gotten fired if I had one of these. But seriously, jokes aside, back in the day when augmented reality was not an option, it required a supervisor to train a new person. But now using AR, they can train up to 3 persons at the same time with supervision. These are some examples of the leading companies that have started and are focusing on this emerging technology in various ways. Hopefully, using this technology, BMW can teach its drivers to use their turn signals by 2030. Talking about the widespread use of VR and AR, they are very popular in Formula racing sports. There is a very high cost of maintenance for Formula cars, and teams are on the move for most of the year to prepare for races. Drivers won't get a lot of practice with their cars on the tracks. Virtual reality is the only solution for this matter, since drivers can practice only using a few devices that can be easily moved around the world at the lowest prices possible. and it will be the closest experience to the real driving. It is interesting to note that a Formula Racing Championship exists and competitors around the world race using VR devices. Let's watch this short video from the Formula E YouTube page talking about the simulation in this sport.
With a busy racing schedule, teams are relying upon simulator sessions to maximize their chances of winning races. In Formula E, for every hour on track, drivers spend around 100 in the simulator. This technology allows teams to expose their drivers to all possible scenarios of a race, making sure they are prepared for all outcomes.
By now, you have probably realized how important of a role AR and VR are and will be playing in our lives. After all, there is a reason they are called emerging technologies. I am pretty sure that in the short future, each one of us will be learning about VR and AR among automotive companies in our lives. At last, I want to thank you for taking your time and listening to me, and I really hope that you enjoyed and learned something from my presentation. The following slide will be the references that I used through the making of this presentation. If you wanted to read more about this topic, I recommend looking them up. Thank you.